do you plan your day? Sometimes we really ignore breakfast and, most of the time just take a cup of tea with vegetables only. Sorry, with a carbohydrate only. Now, all your meals have to have vegetables, so that we also try and control how your breakfast will affect your sugars by increasing the fiber content and also having, vegetables in that particular meal to try and lower the total carbohydrate load of that particular meal. All right. So for instance, for breakfast, I can give an example of maybe sweet potatoes. There's nothing wrong with ngwashe. Most of the time, the issue is always the portions. All right. So you can take your ngwashes, which is the sweet potatoes, and then you take maybe 1 egg or 2 eggs. Okay. The eggs are not bad for you. It just, again, depends on your already pre-existing cholesterol levels. But if you already have cholesterol problems, then you have to be very, very careful, and you need the guidance of a nutritionist and your cardiologist. And terere, amaranth, right? You can have that as your vegetables. For the meal we're discussing, you can have your skuma wiki if they remained, make sure they remain for supper time, so that you eat them for your breakfast, okay? Now, the green vegetables, Kenyans, we need to stop overcooking our vegetables. I'm going to cover that in a separate video, but please do not overcook your vegetables. When you're cooking your vegetables, you're just trying not to be a rabbit, okay? So you're trying to make sure you're not eating raw food, but you again probably just heating it and mixing it with the oil so that you feel like you're eating cooked food. But really, vegetables are best eaten raw, most of them. All right. But again, if you have medical conditions that lower immunity, like cancer, please don't eat a lot of raw stuff. They could be having stuff that could actually, make you compromise your immune system, your immunity even lower. So again, I'll cover that when you're discussing cancer. Now, for a drink, you can actually do tea. There's nothing wrong with a diabetic taking tea. You just need to check again into the carbohydrate load of that particular meal. All right. Now, if you take tea and you add honey to it, the sweeteners, there's no particular sweeteners, and let nobody lie to you. There's no particular sweetener that does not affect your sugars. What the difference comes in as to what degree it's going to affect the sugars. For instance, let's look at the main types of sweeteners that diabetics use. Aspartame, sucralose, honey, okay, stevia. So please, again, go to the glycemic index and check the indices of those particular sweeteners, but avoid, and I need to repeat, avoid completely. Keep off aspartame. Aspartame is a classified carcinogen. Carcinogen means it's something that could trigger the carcinogenesis process, which is the process that cancer develops. So please keep off aspartame, because it's a classified carcinogen and that could actually cause you more harm than good, especially if you already have a chronic disease like diabetes. Now, mid-morning, I always advise people, as much as possible, let it be fruits. Because again, for diabetes, fruits have a type of sugar called fructose. All right, fructose is fruit sugar. So if you eat a meal and in addition to that you take fruits, the carbohydrate load of your meal is, because protein takes longer to digest, most of them have lower glycemic indices, which means that that particular meal will take a lot longer in totality to digest. So your blood sugars postprandial or after meals are not going to be too high, going to be way too high. All right. So please make sure that you're not eating your fruits with food, unless you have total control of your carbohydrate load and you're really sure that if I eat those fruits, my sugars are not going to be high. But for me personally, as a nutritionist, I advise people to take their fruits mid-morning. If you're going to work and it's too difficult for you to probably take your fruits, and maybe you're going to, you're not in the house during the day, because most of us will be working, please pack the fruits. Okay. Now again, for fruits, please check your glycemic index so you'll know whether it's going to increase your sugars or it's not going to increase your sugars after eating them.